Hello, welcome back here in the CAYDEN'S Weather Center. Today is October 13th, 2024, and we are paying attention right now here into a little bit of a severe weather threat today going on over here in this region right here. We'll be seeing a little bit of a severe weather threat, but not just a severe weather threat. We're also going to be talking about the first snow showers that we'll be seeing for the winter season here too, and we'll talk about that as some of the models are picking up on some snow showers, but we'll talk about who can get those snow showers pretty soon. So that will be kind of our main focus, especially for this week. The tropics are a little bit more on the quiet end as of right now. There is Invest 94L, but we won't attack that in this video today. That will probably most likely be in another video if it starts to become a threat to land, so we'll pay attention to that one very closely. Taking a look here at the United States weather so far, we can clearly see a little bit of rain showers kind of going on with a low pressure system sitting right over here just above the northern parts of Wisconsin. You can see that little spin with the rainfall that brings heavy amounts of rain over here in parts of Canada into eastern parts of Wisconsin, and same kind of into the northern part of Wisconsin here. We're seeing a little bit of that, wet areas and all of that possible heavy rain at times. Then we have a little bit of that heaviest rain still continuing on as well in the northeast here, so a little bit of that rain could be heavy at times as well, and then a little bit of some clouds and showers over here in Kansas and Oklahoma. Other than that, the rest of the United States very quiet here. The main area that we're paying attention to is kind of in this region right here for the severe weather threat here, and that will be something that we want to pay attention to very closely. And also go down over here to Florida. Yesterday was a big flash flooding threat over here in southern Florida, really for the Miami area, but is starting to let up a little bit more today, so that's at least some good news, especially after recovering now from Milton. So let's talk about right now here the severe weather threat that we're paying attention to right now. We can clearly see a marginal risk continues throughout for today, and this does include several states here. That's including parts of central and eastern Tennessee. We got western North Carolina, we got western Virginia, and then parts of eastern West Virginia here, and then maybe even a little bit of Kentucky can be dealing with some of that marginal threat for today. There's no tornado threat. It's less than 2% in all areas, so that's good news right there. The wind threat, though, will be a little bit on that 5% end, so there is still that type of wind threat that we could be expecting, and same with the hail threat being a little bit more off to the southern part of the marginal risk area, but still something to be paying attention to very closely. Taking a look here at the HRR model, what are we taking a look at? With this morning, we've already been seeing some of those showers still continuing down over here in southern Florida. Still that rain showers continuing on over here in the northeast, and then same with Wisconsin dealing with some of that rain showers as well. Let's head in over here to around this afternoon, around 5 p.m. We can see a little bit more of those showers start to pop up over here down in South Florida. This really starts to expand itself according to this, future radar model run here, but then we kind of will eventually see a little bit of a line type form here in this marginal area where we'll be seeing the most of the severe weather threat. And here it is right here around 8 p.m. Eastern time. We could be seeing the possibility for these little showers, even though it doesn't seem like very much here on this. These little showers right here could include in some, a little bit of gusty winds and a little bit of that hail, but really is going to be a very impact, it's going to be a really tight storm, so it's really not going to be anything large and really expanding itself at all. This will probably be just that tiny right there, tiny little line, but definitely could still bring some heavy rainfall at moments, and then brings it over here to the east, and then starts to die down as it heads off to the east here. But then the rainfall starts to pick up here in parts of the Pennsylvania area and then Ohio area. We can pay attention to that very closely as well. And really heading into this evening, we could definitely be seeing a lot of those storms over here in the Michigan area. So we'll have to pay attention to that. Maybe a marginal risk could be issued for the Michigan area, but we'll have to keep an eye out, obviously, on that very closely. Taking a look here at the rainfall threat here for the next coming of hours here, 120 hours out, we can obviously see not a lot of flash flooding. It does seem like over here in the northeast could be getting an inch of rain here in the next 5 days, so really not a lot of rain here. And then really, especially where our marginal risk is, that rainfall will not be too extensive over here for the next massive amount of days, so that's good news right there, but still can reach up to a little bit more of just above an inch in certain areas right over here. Mostly stays in the water, it seems like, though, so that is good news right there. Now let's head into the temperature end, because I feel like the temperatures is one of the biggest things that we obviously are more excited for than anything here. So heading into today, we can clearly see here pretty hot temperatures still continuing on down here in the south, for, actually really stretching from all the way to California, all the way over here into the Florida Panhandle, reaching up into possibly, Phoenix, Arizona, reaching 101 degrees, 97s, down here in California, 98. 96 for possibly even 100 over there down in Arizona. Texas reaching into the mid 90s there, and then the lower 90s here for the Louisiana region. But then when you head into over here, kind of for the Florida Panhandle, in the mid 80s to upper 80s here, and then really a little bit of cooler temperatures off into the Florida Peninsula here. Heading into day 2, though, day 3, that's when we start to see a big cool down here, except for apparently the Arizona and in the California region, but even Texas will be getting this as well. Obviously, the main areas kind of will be in these areas right here that will get the coldest amount of weather. But obviously something to, be excited about, because I know we've all been ready for these temperatures to go down. And then we see here a cold front going to be coming over. In day 6, we're going to see really these temperatures start to cool down. So possibly into the upper 40s, into the lower 50s, could be in that blue area there, and you can see that. Then we head into down day 9, day 10. That is when we're going to see also a big cold front start to push its way down, but starting over here. So we'll have to keep an eye out, obviously, on these temperatures. But this area right here on day 10 in the 50s, and then possibly up into the lower 50s, upper 40s there, and possibly into the lower 40s as well in some areas. So definitely something to pay attention to. And you know what? We're going to be seeing that rainfall, obviously on, for the severe weather threat, we're going to see that rainfall. We're going to see the rainfall threat more on the East Coast here, but not just the rainfall that we're going to be seeing. We're also going to be seeing some of that snowfall starting to happen here. And this is the NOAA blend of models here. So this is the National Weather Service model here pretty much. And that snowfall could be expected here in the next 132 hours out. So this is a blend of all the models here, and this will give you, hey, we're anticipating possibly some snow in this region right here. And then parts of maybe even the Northeast gets a little bit of that snow. Obviously, this isn't going to be no massive snowstorm, so that's good news right there. But something to pay attention to, as we'll be starting to see, obviously, these temperatures starting to cool down as we're getting closer and closer to winter time. We're going to see this very closely. So there is that snowfall that will happen over here in parts of Wyoming, going into Montana and Utah and New Mexico. Parts of northern New Mexico, Colorado will be a big one here. Parts of Arizona will actually get some snow, same with Oregon and Washington. Then we will also see it here in New York and parts of the Northeast as well. So we'll have to pay attention to that very, very closely, because I know a lot of people are excited, at least for the winter time here, as we get those cooler temperatures. Let's take a look at what the GFS is anticipating, though, because it does seem like, even though with the GFS we can clearly see, starting tomorrow, possibly some snow showers continuing on over here in the Northeast. Now, when are we really going to start to see some of those snow showers? Well, you can clearly see on October 16th, seeing some of those snow showers over here in the Northeast, according to the GFS model. Then we bring it over here, then starts to head into the mountains area, and that will bring in the snow right there. So, most likely we won't be seeing a lot of snow kind of in, these city areas here, but most likely we'll just be staying into the Rocky Mountains and all of that. Then we're going to pay attention to this big line of snowstorms right here. That is something we want to pay attention to as it heads in through Utah and Wyoming, as well as a pretty heavy amount according to the GFS here on October 18th. Then starts to dissipate, obviously, as it starts to head into a little bit more of that warmer environment. But then we see a lot more of snow will be going through Canada more than anything right now, and then it seems like by October 25th, and obviously this is very far out still according to the GFS, so something could change. Some snow possibly could be going through Montana and parts of the Northeast. So a lot to be paying attention to with these cold fronts as well, so it's something to watch closely here. And I know the 12Z is coming out, so we'll watch the 12Z as well. We can clearly see still, it's kind of just giving us an idea on what we could be expecting with that. And then if you take a look here at the two, the temperature anomalies right now, we can clearly see mostly of all the central and west coast of the United States here are very above average, while parts of the southeast and Louisiana is all below average right now, and then the northeast is below average. Same with really into the Michigan area, very below average right now for what season it's supposed to be currently. Then you head down over here, we will head to, according to the GFS, expected, whoopsies, this is actually negative 30 hours here, into the next 24 hours out. We can clearly see some of those cold fronts will start to come down, and that's what's going to cause these temperatures to go down. And then we can see a little bit of cooler temperatures over here in the northern part of Florida. But we're still seeing a lot of that hot weather over here continuing on for central United States and the western United States, so something to pay attention to as we go on. Then very cold blast of air could be coming down here into the central and eastern part of the United States here, and that will eventually make its little way down here. Obviously not as cold as it will be over here for Florida. It won't be as cold as like Kentucky and all this area, but still it's going to bring in some cold air right there. And you can see this could be in the next 90 hours. We'll see that big cold front kind of come through. So this will kind of give you a little bit of those fall temperatures here for the southeast, and also some winter temperatures for you as well. But really look at that purple. That's going to be some pretty cold temperatures that we could be seeing. That's about 12 degrees under where it's supposed to be at this time of the year. But you can clearly see Florida will be enjoying this definitely here due to that. And also same here with Texas, still getting some of that blue as well. So they will be enjoying that as well. And we continue to see that. And it will kind of stick around for a little bit here, but then we'll go back, heat up again. And then we will start to see a little bit more of those cold fronts come down. And look at that. GFS will be bringing down another cold front here. So it seems like we're just going to have those same, things going on. We're going to pay attention to that. Obviously, the West Coast will get some of that snow as well and bring in some cooler temperatures. So a lot to be paying attention to today. So, obviously we're paying attention to that severe weather threat. That's our main focus for today. And then tomorrow we might not be having a severe weather threat here. So that's at least some good news. So we'll talk about more of the temperatures tomorrow, and then possibly Invest 94L here and what we could be expecting here with some of those models. Make sure to follow my X page down in the description for more frequent updates here on this storm. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and bye-bye.